I've scoured the internet trying to find 3 of the latest table saw accessories that you might need for your shop. And each of these items is not only affordable, as I only spent $120 for all 3 of these items, but they all have unique features which I hadn't seen before. So join me today as I dive into these 3 unique items that you're not going to want to miss. So if you're new to this channel, I like to spend a lot of time on Amazon doing what I like to call Amazoning deep, which just means I spend hours on Amazon going past the first, second, and third pages of all my searches trying to find those unique tools that nobody talks about. And a couple of weeks ago, I found these 3 affordable gems that I thought was worth taking a look at because of all their unique features. And these tools not only appear to be useful for your table saw, but many other projects in your shop. So let's not waste any more time and dive into our first tool, which is also our most expensive one at just over 60 bucks. This is the vevor Precision Miter Gauge, perfect for making those angled cuts like 60 and 90 degrees. Did you know that 69% of men find something dirty in every sentence spoken? In my opinion, a miter gauge is an essential woodworking tool for your shop. The problem is most table saws come with a pretty dinky one. And because I have this YouTube channel, I've accumulated quite a few of these to get a better understanding of what's available out there. And there's a lot out there at many different price points. Everything from the cheapest one that I have, which is a Bauer that's under 50 bucks, up to my highest end one, which is my Going Make. And because I have such a wide range of miter gauges, this vevor one caught my eye, as it's at the price point of that Bauer and it appears to have many of the features of that high-end Going Make. So let's take a closer look at this vevor and see how it stacks up. So as I tear into this box, one of the first things I notice is this tool's got a little bit of heft to it, which often indicates a quality tool. And as I open the box, the packaging is very nice, which is what I like to see in precision tools like this. Once I get this thing out of the box, you can see there's not a whole lot of pieces here, which is really nice because it means assembly is going to be pretty easy. And basic assembly is really only a 3-step process. We'll first slide the stop right into the top of the fence. With that stop now slid into place, you can lock it into position with those 2 silver knobs on the top. Now that we have the stop and the fence now attached to each other, we want to attach it to the miter gauge itself. To do this, we'll simply loosen the 2 knobs on the back of that miter gauge and take the 2 tabs on the front of that miter gauge and slide it right into the back of that fence. And with both those tabs now slid into the back of the fence, we can temporarily lock it into place with those 2 little knobs on the back of the miter gauge. And now we're ready for the third and final step for basic assembly, and that's to add the handle on the back of the miter gauge. And this couldn't be more simple. All we need to do is to take the included plastic washer, place it on top of that handle, and screw it into place on the back of that miter gauge. And just like that, we have our miter gauge roughly assembled, but we need to do some calibration. To do this, we need to take it over to the table saw. Now, unfortunately, this miter gauge will only work with table saws with 3/4 of an inch miter slot. So if you have a 5/8 inch miter slot, this gauge is not going to work for you. Now with this miter gauge in my table saw's miter slot, you can see there's a little bit of slop here, but this can be easily alleviated. Along the miter bar, there's actually 4 compression bearings. By simply taking a hex key, you can make those bearings protrude out of that miter bar. And although a little bit difficult to show on camera, each one of these bearings is spring-loaded, which just makes it a little bit more forgiving. And with all the bearings adjusted on my miter gauge, I can slide it into my table saw and you can see how much more secure it is in that miter slot. The next thing that I want to do is to make sure that that fence is perfectly square to the table saw blade. And to do this, I'll simply take a square, place it up against that fence, and make sure that that blade is square. And I see no problems there, which is a great start. However, let's move on to setting the fence. Now, when I talk about setting the fence, I'm talking about setting the scale of the fence, and this is where I ran into a pretty major issue. Now, if we take that fence and slide it up against one of the teeth of our table saw blade, you can see that that scale is pretty darn accurate. However, you cannot use a miter gauge like this, as you need to have some spacing between the fence and the blade itself. In my case, I usually like to go with about 1/8 of an inch. And when you add that little bit of spacing, it completely throws off that scale by 1/8 of an inch, which essentially makes the entire scale on this miter gauge worthless. And that was one of the main reasons why I like this miter gauge. Now, with other miter gauges I've dealt with in the past, they account for this issue by having the scale independent from the fence itself. Or they have a micro adjust feature for the pointer that's independent from the stop itself. But this vevor miter gauge has neither, as the scale is attached to the fence directly and there's no micro adjustment for the pointer itself, which is really pretty disappointing and frankly makes this miter gauge something that I probably won't use that often. But if the scale isn't that important to you, let's move on to some of this miter gauge's other features. On the top, once again, you're going to notice two silver knobs. One is a lockdown for the micro adjustment feature, and the other is a lockdown for the stop. Now, to use these two knobs in combination with each other, you're always going to start off with the left-hand knob. You'll simply adjust your stop to the distance that you want to cut, and then you'll tighten down that left-hand knob. With that left-hand silver knob now locked into place, we can now take a look at the micro adjustment feature, which has to do with the black knob that's just to the left of that silver knob. By simply rotating that knob left or right, you can make micro adjustments to that stop in either direction. And each hash mark on that knob has an adjustment of 5/100ths of a millimeter. But in my opinion, that micro adjustment feature doesn't have much of a use unless you're using referential measurements, as that scale is unusable. But once you have your measurement dialed in, you can lock that stop into place by simply twisting the right-hand silver knob on the miter gauge. And once that stop is locked into place, I'll have to say the stop is pretty solid, although not perfect, as there is a little bit of deflection. Now let's take a look at some of the angles you could cut with this miter gauge, as this has got a pretty extensive range going from about plus or minus 70 degrees. Adjusting the angle works like many other miter gauges. The first thing that you do is you unscrew the handle on the top. With that handle loosened, you can now pull up on that silver tab on the back of the miter gauge and rotate it about 90 degrees. This 90-degree rotation pulls out a pin that allows you to freely rotate this miter gauge in either direction. Once you have the angle you want, you can twist that handle once again to lock that angle into place. Now, one thing to be aware of when you go to make a miter cut is you need to make sure that that fence is not going to come into contact with your blade, because as soon as you rotate that miter gauge off of any angle other than 90, there's a high likelihood that it will, so you need to adjust the fence accordingly. Now, I just showed you how to adjust this miter gauge to any angle between plus or minus 70 degrees, but there's a much more easy way, and it has everything to do with the holes on this miter gauge. This gauge has 15 preset detents for some of your most commonly used angles. Simply take that silver knob on the back and rotate it 90 degrees, and then you can rotate the jig and you'll see that the angle will lock into place with a little click. Then with a little twist of the handle, you can be assured that your angle is perfectly locked into place. And that about covers all the features with this miter gauge, but let's test it out at two different angles to see how well it cuts. I'll first start off at 90 degrees. I'll simply take a piece of scrap wood, place it into the miter gauge, and make my cut. And as I take my piece of wood and place my square up against it, you can see we're at a perfect 90. But let's test 45. I'll do a quick adjustment to my miter gauge, place my wood into that miter gauge, and make the cut at 45. And as I place my delve square up against this 45-degree cut, I've got no complaints at all. So a pretty darn accurate miter gauge, especially at this price point. However, I just don't think I can overlook the fact that that scale is unusable. But if you just want to cut angles and that scale really isn't that important to you, this might be a great pickup, especially for under 70 bucks. Well, that first item was a little disappointing to take a look at. However, we've got two more items that I'm much more confident about. Before we check out our next item, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, and share this video. It truly does help and allows this channel to grow. Also, if you haven't checked out my website already, go to flynndoggwoodwork.com, where you can get access to all sorts of valuable resources, as well as all sorts of fun woodworking accessories like all the t-shirts that I wear in my videos. And I've just released some new models of shirts. And if any of the tools we take a look at today intrigue you, I'll be sure to leave links in the description below so that you can go check them out for yourself. And finally, if you'd like to support this channel even further, check out my channel memberships, where you get early access to all my videos, as well as one member video a week. Now let's get back into that next tool. This is the Saker Digital Angle Finder. Let's see how this tickles your fancy. What's the last thing that Tickle Me Elmo receives before he leaves the factory? 2 testicles. So in my opinion, digital angle finders are one of the easiest ways to set the angle of your table saw blade. And I've had a couple of these over the years, and right now I'm rocking my Rockler one, which does the job and I have no complaints. But on one of my late night Amazon deep runs, I found this Saker one, which appears to have some unique features that I've never seen in an angle finder before. So let's get this thing out of the box and see what makes this item so unique. One of the first things you'll notice if we look at what comes in the box is a charger, and this means that this thing is rechargeable and you don't need to add batteries to it, which is different than any other angle finder I've had, as they've all required batteries. This angle finder is charged by a small covered USB-C port that's located on the very back of the tool. By having the ability to plug the other end of this cord into any USB-A port, you can be assured that you never run out of power. You probably also noticed that very easy to read backlit display, and when I compare it to my Rockler, you can see it's much easier to read. Now, one thing that's critical for an angle finder like this is that it has a magnetic side. Now, any other angle finder that I've had in the past only has one magnetic side, including my Rockler, which means if you select the wrong side of that angle finder, it's just going to fall off that blade. But this new one has magnetized every single side of the angle finder so that you can flip it on any side and it will attach to that blade. You'll also notice that this new one has just a little bit more precision, going to 5/100ths of a degree measurement versus 1/10. Now let's take a look at the 3 buttons that are on the very front of the tool, as this introduces some new functionality. Let's start off with that yellow button, as this is the power button, but it also has another function. By pressing that yellow button, you can turn the tool on or off, or you can wait 3 minutes and the tool will turn off by itself. But the secondary function of that yellow button is the thing that caught my eye and made me want to purchase this tool. That's right, this angle finder actually has a set of lasers on either side of it. By simply pressing that yellow button, you can turn on the right laser, the left laser, or both lasers, allowing you to use those lasers to pinpoint any angle on any flat surface. The middle button on this tool is the tilt hold button. Let's take a look at what that does. Once you have this tool aligned with the piece of material that you want to measure an angle on, you can press this button to lock that angle into the tool, allowing you to set something like a T-bevel so that you can transfer that angle to any material. And to remove that angle from the memory of the tool, simply press that tilt hold button once again and the tool functions as normal. And the final button is the 0 button, which is used in calibration. For a table saw, you're going to place this digital angle finder on the cast iron of your tabletop. Then you'll push the 0 button to zero out the tool to get your perfect 0-degree angle. With the tool now calibrated to the tabletop of your table saw, you can place it on your blade to get the perfect angle that you want for your cut, ensuring that all your cuts are dialed in to the precise angle that you're looking for. And with all this extra functionality for less than 27 bucks, I think this is a great pickup for your shop. But we've got one more unique item that I think might be a great addition for anybody with a table saw. These are Eonosic setup blocks. Let's give them a look. You know, I miss the block that I grew up on when I was younger, except for that brothel that was down the way. Used to be men lined up around the corner, except one day when it closed out of nowhere. All they did was put a sign on the door that said, "Beat it, we're closed." So this isn't my first set of Eonosic setup blocks. In fact, we used my old set when taking a look at that miter gauge. And if you watch any of my videos, you'll see me using these setup blocks all the time. And I even made a 3D printed case for all these setup blocks. So why the heck did I get this new set of the same brand of setup blocks? Well, let's open up the case and take a closer look. Now, you probably noticed it, but there should be one thing that stands out more than anything else, and that's the 1-2-3 block. Unlike my previous 1-2-3 block, this setup block is completely different, and it's perfect for the table saw. As you can see, this new 1-2-3 block has a step cut out right in the center of the block. It's this cutout that's actually a height gauge for things like your table saw or even smaller bits over at your router table. And if we look at this height gauge, you can see there's 8 different measurements going from 1/8 all the way up to 1 inch in 1/8 inch increments. And since it has 2 legs, you can straddle your table saw blade and raise that blade until you get the exact measurement you want. But that's not the only improvement they've made with these setup blocks. Now with the 1-2-3 blocks, they've always had measurement for the height, the width, and the depth. But they never added any measurements to the individual setup blocks, but with this new version they actually have. All of these setup blocks now have 1/32 inch increments running down the entire length as well as the height of each setup block. And the precision of these setup blocks is just as accurate, whether you're using the smallest of these setup blocks or the largest measurement. And even those incredibly funky setup blocks like that 7/32 block. And because of these setup blocks' increased functionality as well as that amazing new 1-2-3 block design, I think these are the best setup blocks available on Amazon. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed checking out all of these new, affordable table saw accessories with unique designs. For the most part, I'm pretty pleased, although that miter gauge could probably benefit with a little bit of redesign. Before you click off, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, and share this video. It truly does help out this woodworking channel grow. And stick around to the very end to see be some of Bert's best. And if you haven't already, check out my website, flynndoggwoodwork.com, where you can get access to all sorts of fun woodworking accessories like all the t-shirts that I wear in my videos. And I've just released some new models of shirts. And if you liked any of the tools we took a look at today, I'll be sure to leave links in the description below so that you can go check them out for yourself. And last but not least, if you'd like to support this channel even further, check out my channel memberships where you can get early access to all my videos as well as one member video a week. Until next time, take care as always. Yes sir, let's get it. So what do cow pies and cowgirls have in common? Well, the older they are, the easier they are to pick up. No? Damn. How about this one? So I heard a knock on the door the other day. When I opened it up, there were 2 officers there. I said, "What's wrong, officer?" He told me, "I'm sorry to tell you this, but it looks like your wife's been hit by a bus." I told her, "Yeah, but she's got a great personality." She ain't that pretty. All right, last try, folks. So what's the difference between a dirty bus stop and a lobster with boobs? Well, one's a dusty bus station and the other's a busty crust station. Come on,